Welcome to This Explainer. So, you just hit publish on a brand new website. If you're a new founder or a small business owner, you're probably hitting refresh on Google over and over, wondering why you are completely invisible. Seriously, where is the traffic? Well, don't panic. Today, we're breaking down exactly how long you need to wait for search indexing and what you can do to speed the whole process up. Okay, let's dive into this. Here is our roadmap for today. First, the waiting game. Second, how search engines work. Third, common roadblocks to indexing. Fourth, the post-launch checklist. And finally, setting realistic SEO expectations. Section 1, the waiting game. Let's set a baseline. You've spent weeks, maybe even months, getting the design perfect and writing the absolute best copy. You finally hit launch. It's an incredibly exciting moment, right? But then, crickets. The immediate silence from search engines can be absolutely deafening. You start pacing around asking yourself, why isn't my new website showing up in search? Look, I want to validate that impatience right now. It is perfectly normal to feel frustrated here. But the truth is, search engines operate on their own distinct timeline. And understanding that timeline, that's what puts you back in control. Let's drop our first data anchor. For most typical cases, you're going to start seeing your pages indexed within a 3 to 14-day window. This basically means that if you've done the basics right, within a couple of weeks, search engines will have found your pages and logged them. So if it's only been, 48 hours since launch, take a deep breath. You are well within the normal waiting period. However, we do need to contrast that with an alternate timeline. If your domain is brand new, if your site is kind of on the smaller side, or if there are certain technical limitations under the hood, the wait can actually stretch out to 3 to 6 weeks. Think about it. A brand new domain simply doesn't have any established trust or footprint yet, so search engines naturally just take a bit more time to get around to finding and validating it. Moving on to Section 2. How search engines work. Let's look at the technical journey. To really grasp this technical journey, I love to use a library metaphor. The whole process basically happens in 3 distinct steps. First up is discovery, which takes anywhere from a few hours to a few days. This is when the librarian first hears a new book even exists, usually through external links or sitemaps. Second is crawling. This is the search engine bot actually reading your pages, much like that librarian skimming your book to figure out what it's about. Finally, we have indexing. This is adding your page to the search engine's database, literally putting your book's information straight into the library's card catalog. So the crucial point here, and this is a big one, is understanding the fundamental difference between indexing and ranking. Indexing just means you've been added to the search engine's database. The search engine simply knows you exist. That's it. Ranking, on the other hand, is showing up high in user search results when someone types in a query. You see, being known by the search engine is entirely different from being deemed relevant or authoritative enough to actually be shown on page 1 to your potential customers. Section 3. Common roadblocks to indexing. It's time to meet the villains of our story. Put your tech consultant hat on with me for a second and let's do a little troubleshooting. First up, your robots.txt file. If this is configured incorrectly, it acts like a giant keep out sign for bots. You have to ensure it doesn't block the crawling of required sections. Next, no index tags. Developers use these all the time during the building phase, but if you forget to remove them from your landing pages when you go live, search engines will explicitly ignore you. Finally, server errors. You absolutely need to verify that your site is delivering functional 200 OK responses, meaning the web page actually loads successfully and that any redirects you've set up aren't broken. Moving on, let's look at what happens when you are missing what we call fast crawl signals. There are a few major red flags that severely slow down a search engine's ability to assess your quality. If you don't have an XML sitemap, or if your site suffers from poor internal links and sagging navigation, the bot just gets lost. Plus, if you have poor quality or thin content, identical titles across multiple pages, or duplicate content, search engines really struggle to quickly understand your topic. Without these clear signals, the whole indexing process is going to be massively delayed. Section 4. The post-launch checklist. Let's take back control. All right, here is your rapid-fire, immediate post-launch survival checklist. Ready? 1. Add your site to the webmaster dashboard, like Google Search Console. 2. Don't just sit around and wait. Request indexing of your new pages directly. 3. Prepare and submit your XML sitemap. And note, keeping that sitemap updated as you publish is an ongoing responsibility. You can't just set it and forget it. 4. Ensure your site is fully accessible and secure via HTTPS. And 5. Check for fast server response times. A sluggish site frustrates bots just as much as it frustrates human users. A really crucial detail here is the distinct emphasis on internal linking. You must ensure your homepage and key sections are easily accessible via internal links.
Think of a solid internal linking structure as drawing a crystal clear map for the bots. It ensures that every important page is connected to the main web, which basically prevents your most critical landing pages from becoming orphaned and completely ignored by the crawlers.
Section 5. Setting realistic SEO expectations. Let's look at the long-term horizon. To put all of this into perspective, let's look at a key insight from our source data. Even if indexing has occurred, ranking gains are usually gradual due to the frequency of rescanning and search engine competition. And this brilliantly illustrates the exact point we touched on earlier. Once you are successfully filed away in the library's catalog, climbing to the actual top of the search results is a marathon, not a sprint. You are now competing with literally every other established site on the internet. And that simply takes time. Let's map out this full timeline so you have a concrete visual roadmap of the post-launch phases. Day 1 is your exciting site launch. Pop the champagne. Then, from 3 to 14 days, you enter the typical indexing phase. If you have a brand new domain, you're looking at 3 to 6 weeks. But the absolute most important benchmark here is the final one, 4 to 12 weeks. This 4 to 12 week horizon is the true benchmark for success when you want to reliably assess your results and see where you actually rank. Forget about stressing over the first 2 or 3 days. True SEO absolutely requires patience. So, we arrive at the ultimate question to wrap up this explainer. Is your site truly ready for the bots? Before you panic about your search visibility, I challenge you to review your specific setup right now. Are you on a brand new domain? How many pages did you actually launch with? Is your XML sitemap clean? And are your webmaster tools properly connected? Armed with everything we covered today, you have the troubleshooting skills you need to ensure your site is found, crawled, and indexed. Put these steps into action, be patient, and watch your new website finally step into the light.